Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to reinstall or clean install Windows Vista. And this procedure will be very similar to Windows 7 because both operating systems are really similar. First thing you need to go ahead and do is, of course, if you're reinstalling, back up your files in settings, and also if you have driver files available on the computer, go ahead and back those up too. Otherwise, download the drivers off the internet. And the computer in this video is a Dell XPS 430, and I already had the driver files available because this is the second time I've reinstalled Windows on this computer. The first time was when the stock 750 gig hard drive quit working, and this reinstall was because the files and everything on here are just a big mess, and there's viruses on this thing. It really needs a reinstall, so we're going to go ahead and copy over these drivers. You notice here, you get just a general idea of how messed up this thing is. Nothing's showing up in the start menu unless you type a search. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and locate our Windows Vista disk, and this machine needs a 64-bit copy, so go ahead and insert that into the DVD drive. Then we'll go ahead and restart the computer. Go ahead and press the key to boot from CD or DVD. And we only do that in the first time it starts up. Once it starts restarting, we don't need that boot from the DVD anymore. And basically right now it is loading files. I'm going to wait for it to finish loading files. I'm going to click next. Click on install now. And since this machine has a RAID platform, we may have to insert a USB disk with drivers loaded on it, and I'll go ahead and enter the product key later on. Of course, in Windows 7 you get to enter the product key after you install anyway, but in Vista it asks you to enter it before, which you don't have to enter it out of the way. And it's like Windows Vista Home Premium, that's the version of Windows that's being installed. Basically, it warns you that if you select the wrong version, you'll have to purchase that version or reinstall Windows. Select the license terms. Click on custom. Well, in this case, it automatically picked up the partition. I'm going to delete this partition. Of course, if you haven't backed up any files, please go ahead and exit the setup utility and go back into Windows and get your files, because once you delete your partition, your files are gone. In a couple of seconds, all the files just got deleted. I'm going to say new. And say apply. I'm going to get rid of this partition too. There's nothing on it. ahead and click next. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to copy files off the DVD drive and expand them. And it's pretty much automated from here on out, unlike Windows XP where you have to hang around and keep an eye on it so you can enter your product key, set the time zone, all that mess. In Windows Vista, they done a good job of rearranging the installer to where it's more efficient. You can lead the computer along and let it do its thing, and then at the end it'll ask you for all the information. Okay, computer is restarted, and it's now to the next portion of setup where it sets up your computer. The installation is almost done. Let's restart and begin. Go ahead and type a name. Well, we don't need a password. Let's choose a desktop background. Select next. I'm going to say ask me later because I got some other packages to install, such as Service Pack 2 and everything. And I already had the files on file. Select our time zone. And click next. Say this is a home network or whatever kind of network you're using. And click the start button over here. Now personally I think this portion of setup right here where it says Windows is checking your computer's performance, I think this is really a waste of time, because in many cases unless it's a pre-installed copy of Windows, you don't always have all the needed drivers installed to get the best performance out of the hardware. For example, let's say that your graphics card driver is not installed. In this case, Windows Vista will use the standard VGA graphics adapter driver, which only scores like a 1.0. So even if you have a graphics card that would score a 5.9, it'll only get a 1.0 until the driver is installed. So this right here is a real waste of time. And Windows 7 kind of does the same thing, but not as extreme. Like for instance, when you actually sign into Windows for the first time, and you go to your computer properties and go to performance, you'll notice that there's no ratings applied yet. As you can see, it's using the standard VGA graphics adapter because the driver for the graphics card is missing. And I'll show you what I was talking about here in just a moment. And of course, if you want to create additional user accounts, all I have to do is after this finishes up, you'll go into your control panel to user accounts and set up additional accounts. Here's another waste of time feature in Windows Vista. This big old welcome center screen. And notice, they don't give you an option to turn it off until after you restart your computer, and it pops up again. So now I'm going to show you what I was talking about earlier. Click on Start and right click on Computer and go to Properties. Notice it says 1.0. The graphics right now gets a 1.0, and after we get the graphics driver installed on this machine, it'll get like a 5.2. Then let's go ahead and install drivers. And basically what I did is earlier you may notice I just went and copied driver files off the computer, but I decided to just go ahead and download the driver packages straight from Dell, because it's pretty simple to do it that way. And I'll go ahead and load those here in just a moment. Okay, I went ahead and loaded the drivers for his computer onto a USB flash drive and inserted the flash drive. I'm going to copy these and paste them to the desktop for right now, just temporarily. That way the files will load faster. Actually, first thing we need to do is go ahead and go into the control panel, click on Classic View, go to User Accounts, and turn off User Account Control. Because especially in Windows Vista, this feature is annoying. In Windows 7, they give you a feature where you can adjust the sensitivity of user account control, but in Vista you can only either turn it on or turn it off. So I have to go and restart the computer. Okay, go ahead and turn off this Welcome Center. Which what this does, I uncheck the run startup. Like I was saying earlier, this only comes up after the first restart. You can get rid of that. Now we'll go ahead and first find the chipset driver. Install that first. Go ahead and run through the setup program. It's installing the driver right now. Go ahead and click next to continue. We're going to restart the computer there because we got more drivers to install. It's going to do the graphics driver. Stopping this security center from alerting the user because the user account control is turned off. Because the user account control feature is very annoying. Anyways, let's go ahead and install this driver. And click next. Let's see install. I'm going to say custom. Yes, asking you want to create the folder, say yes. Now, of course, once again using Windows Update, it would update these drivers. So it's going to install Catalyst Control Center and the display driver. Accept license terms and let the driver install. Now, of course, when you go to install drivers on your computer, the drivers will be different depending on your kind of system. But this is the actual procedure that will be done on the Dell XPS 430. And if you're installing Windows 7, you'll probably only have to install the audio driver, and that's probably about it. Maybe the chipset driver. Let's say no to restart because we got more to install. We're going to install the Intel Matrix Storage Manager because this system has a RAID platform. It's a RAID mirror. Which all it did is all this right here done was extract drivers, which Windows already has drivers because it was able to install Windows, so it's going to move on. I'm going to install the audio. Now, let me go ahead and talk about this right quick. Windows Vista and 7 come with this basic driver that's called High Definition Audio Device. So when you install Windows Vista or Windows 7 and you hear audio for the first time without installing a driver, it doesn't mean you're finished. Because the basic driver does not give you the full features of the audio chipset. For instance, let's say if you have IDT audio or Realtek High Definition audio, after installing the Realtek audio driver or the IDT driver, you have additional features where you can fine-tune the quality of the sound and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and install this driver. And of course, this is an IDT audio driver. I think you probably just heard the speaker pop. It's installing the driver right now, and it installs its own control panel. So that way you can fine tune the audio settings. And I think I've had a board before that used IDT audio, and it was pretty decent. The audio quality was. I mean, IDT and Realtek subs aren't that bad. I mean, when you compare it to the way onboard audio used to be, things have really changed for the better. I'll say never to restart the computer because we got more to install. One more thing here. This is the gigabit LAN driver, and we may not have to install this because I think Windows already has the driver installed. So we're going to go ahead and go into Device Manager. Of course, this driver here will finish installing when we restart the computer, and so we already have the Intel Gigabit Network Connection driver installed. Windows already had that driver, so we're going to go ahead and restart the computer. First, I'm going to get rid of these installation files, and if you want to permanently delete them right away, you hold Shift and hit the delete key. That way, you'll bypass the recycle bin. Go ahead and restart the computer. After the computer restarts, we're going to run the Windows Experience Index Assessor. That way, the Windows error will get enabled, because you can tell that the graphics driver is installed, but arrow is not turned on. Okay, so the CPU in this machine is a Intel Core 2 Quad Q8300, and it's on par, I would say. It's about equivalent with a Phenom 2 905E, which is also 2.5 gig. Let's go ahead and refresh the Windows Experience Index tool to get your scores. Now, of course, in Windows Vista, the highest it will go is 5.9. In Windows 7, the highest score you can get is a 7.9. Okay, the assessment tool is done, and this computer gets a base score of a 5.1. I think it used to be like a 5.2. Just it depends on the size of. Well, the game graphics is the base score, so it can depend on your screen resolution. But this computer was pretty top of the line back in early 2009. Anyways, next one I'm going to do is install Windows Vista Service Pack 2, because the installation media only has Service Pack 1 on it. I'm going to access it on my network computer. Go ahead and click Run. Go ahead and click Next. Accept license terms. Next. It's going to say preparing your computer. And go ahead and click Install, and it will automatically restart the computer. So you can go ahead and walk away and do something else. It's pretty much automated from here on out. Okay, next you'll see a screen like this as the service pack is installing. And after Windows restarts, you'll see the splash screen for Windows Vista, and then you'll see another screen like this again before you get back to the desktop. Okay, the computer just restarted, and here's a message saying that Windows Vista Service Pack 2 has been installed. We can close that out, and we'll go ahead and install Internet Explorer 9. This install is fairly quick. But I personally like Google Chrome a lot better than Internet Explorer any day. I used to be a hardcore Firefox fan, but after using Google Chrome for a bit, I finally got to like it, and ever since a lot of the Firefox plugins I used to use are now compatible with Chrome, I made the switch, and the Chrome browser is a whole lot more stable, and it's just a whole lot more secure and faster. Okay, Internet Explorer 9 is now installed, so we're going to restart the computer. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is enter product key and get Windows activated. Okay, I went to system properties on this machine, so I'm going to activate Windows. Since I have not entered the product key just yet, I'll have to enter it. And let's say you enter the product key during installation. You would just click this link here and let it activate over internet. Now, in some cases, you may have to activate it over phone, which I have videos on YouTube of how to do that. In this case, I'm going to click change product key. Okay, now I'm going to enter the product key. We're going to click next. It'll take a minute. I'll try to activate over the internet. And it was successful.